I'm here in my art studio today working on some projects for the darkroom. I just got this Scotch brand laminator. I bought it on Amazon.com and it wasn't too expensive. I was a little surprised when I opened the box because it actually came with a ton of sample sizes to try out, and I had already purchased a whole bunch of the 5mm pouches, so I have quite a lot to work with. And so I thought about different projects that I might create for my students. One of the most fun is these unbreakable darkroom thermometers. I found these digital thermometers also on Amazon. These are used for making fermented foods or beer. You can also find them at aquarium shops. They're a little difficult to read, so I actually created some instructions, and I'm going to apply the thermometer to the backside of the instructions. The thermometers come with a adhesive backing, so it's pretty easy to put on there. Just going to put it on a light table to light up the backside of it, and then I can line up the adhesive with the instructions. The thermometer itself is quite delicate, so once you remove that backing to the adhesive, you want to be really careful not to stick it to anything until you're really ready to stick it down. It's not possible to remove that adhesive without damaging the thermometer. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to trim it now. Once you have it trimmed the way you like it, you can just put it inside the laminating pouch. I'm going to push it all the way to one end. It might be tempting to put a bunch of them into the laminating pouch, but it makes it so that the laminating pouch doesn't come together as nicely. So I'm only going to put 2 in there at a time. And then all we have to do is put it through the laminator. You really want to make sure that the laminator is nice and hot before you put it in there. You get the best adhesion when the laminator is really hot, and that first time it goes through is where you really want it to stick together. You can put it through a couple of times, but it's never going to be as nice as if you do it the first time nice and hot. Okay. Okay, so there's my finished thermometer. If you leave a little bit of extra length at the top, it's kind of nice so that it doesn't get lost in the graduate. And you can also punch a hole at the top so that you can hang it up. A couple other fun projects that I made were some labels for the different chemistry. Students are always getting them mixed up, and sometimes we use tape on the graduates to try to label them. But it always gets a little confusing. So having these little tags to stick in the graduate is kind of nice to have them as a label. Here's another variation on the label for the graduates. It's just a circular tag that hooks over the side of the handle and reminds you of what chemical is in the graduate. And when you're ready to fill up a film processing tank with the chemical, you can take that label and put it over the top of the tank before you put the lid on, and then it will be a reminder of what's inside. My last project is relevant to teaching today. When I'm wearing my mask, it's a little difficult for people to see who I am, and it can be a little uncomfortable, and so I created a picture tag so that all my students can see who I am.